Hey there, cats and kitties. I'm the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 3 of the anime series Hibike Euphonium. And I was really impressed once again with the characterization going on in this particular episode. Love having the past histories of our characters revealed to us and learning more about them. In this case, most specifically, are we learning about Taki-Sensei? He was married up until 5 years ago, when his wife had passed away. And I'm saying it's like bringing back shades of Amamoto Inazuma, Kohei, the teacher whose wife was, gone for 6 months. And kind of that whole aspect with a sort of, teacher-student relationship, sort of, with Reina being very much obsessed with Taki to the point where she's prompting herself and she needs Kumiko's guidance to actually go up and question him about whether or not he and Niyama-sensei are dating, and because she's like a lost doe in the woods, in reaction to that, potential revelation, that revelation she's making assumptions about. What if Taki-Sensei is spoken for? And, she's like just so obsessed with him, so wanting to be with him in a sense. But it really kind of speaks to that idea. It gives you the reminder that these are really only high school girls, though. There is still a lot of maturing and growing up that they need to do, without necessarily, it's not mutually exclusive to be grown up, to become an adult and lose those sort of youthful aspects of your mind. It's just a matter of Reina, she's smitten with the teacher to the point of having to go up and ask him, are you dating the other teacher? And no, Niyama-sensei is actually married herself, and who knows whether or not the conversation between Reina and Taki-sensei actually moved around to the idea that he was married. This is something that Hashimoto-sensei ends up imparting to Kumiko, while Kumiko is just sort of watching what's going on between Reina and Taki-sensei. And there did seem to be just a sort of mild, hesitation on Reina's part when she finally gets back together with Kumiko and she says, well, I found out Niyama-sensei is actually married and there's nothing going on between she and Taki-sensei. She doesn't seem as relieved as I might have thought, but that could just be because Reina is very much sort of internal. She's not very expressive. And it's intriguing to me because I did, going back to the first episode of the season, I did make that allusion between Mizori and Reina, that they are kind of similar in certain aesthetics with their characters, and not just visually. I also mean that as far as characterization wise. And we have Hashimoto-sensei calling Mizori out in this episode as being, having a lack of expression, being very similar, cut from the same cloth, because she's supposed to be playing this one particular piece in, the practicing that they're doing for this oncoming competition, and she's not really doing it expressively enough. She's not really standing apart from just being like a machine-like, computer-like in playing those notes. And so she has to do more. And I think it's well befitted of this scenario going on, this unfolding drama with, Asuka senpai and Nozomi, and not letting her back in, and how is that all going to play out? And Kumiko is going around asking and talking to as many people as she can. Natsuki is actually going up to Yuko and asking her what her opinion is, because Yuko is good friends with Mizori, and of course we see that Kumiko inadvertently was kind of overhearing this, eavesdropping a little bit. She gets caught by Yuko. Yuko buys her an orange juice, and they have a discussion. This following on from the discussion she's had with Asuka senpai, where she's really trying to put the puzzle pieces back together. And a lot of why Asuka will not let Nozomi back in has to do with how it's poorly affecting Mizori. They were good friends. Their bond was tested, and it was broken because Nozomi walked away. And so, as we saw, Mizori is brought to physical sickness. Just hearing Nozomi playing her instrument, just hearing her pleading to become part of this group again, it's the last thing on God's green earth that Mizori wants. And it's intriguing that, and it really spells out the idea that if Kumiko can get a leg up somehow and affect Mizori in a way, affect Nozomi in a way, affect Asuka senpai in a way, and even Yuko, if she can somehow bring about an amends between all of these characters, suddenly that opens the gamut wide as far as what they're going to be capable of in the band setting, in the playing of their instruments, in this competition up and coming. It just really seems to me that it's almost telegraphing where the story is going to go, the direction Kumiko is going to have to direct herself in order to hopefully make something positive happen. And I really am kind of loosely predicting that eventually, by the end of the season, we will see Midori and Nozomi coming back together again, being maybe even formatted to a friendship again. And Asuka Senpai and Yuko and Natsuki, all these other characters who are surrounding them, who are in support of them, all being made the happier for seeing them gliding back together with the helping hand of Kumiko. I really feel like it's revolving around Kumiko, and it's up to her to figure things out, because she's not the type to let it go. She did, of course, rein in her telling Reina that Taki-Sensei had been married 5 years ago and all that kind of stuff, so there is some give and sway in the Kumiko character, you know, as far as what she can do, what she's willing to do, what she will do, who she will approach, who she will have a conversation with. But she's trying to be helpful. She's trying to do something for the better of everyone. And I really feel like it's probably not going to be easy. Maybe she's going to run into confrontations that don't go as well as the conversations she's thus far had with Asuka Senpai and Yuko in this episode. And even Midori. Midori's probably going to be the one whose arm she has to twist the most, because of this whole idea of competitions. Again, there's a lot of emphasis in the conversations about how bad competitions are. And I like that Yuko kind of takes it a step further, whereas Midori in a previous episode, she was saying she hates competitions. And really you get the sense that the reason she does is because of how it can break people apart. They can become competitive and friendships can sour. And Yuko, taking it a step further, kind of in an evolutionary phase, she kind of has the same tack, but she's like, but you know what, if we're all stuck involved in this band class and we're all stuck as part of this competition, we might as well do the best we can, right? I mean, that's all we can really do about it. Just be the best we can, have the best players play and all that kind of stuff. And that's what she was gunning for in season 1, when we saw Reina actually chosen for the solo as opposed to who Yuko was vying for. And so it's intriguing to me that there is that evolutionary tack. As far as this competition goes, not everybody is thrilled about it. Not everybody wants to be a part of it. Some people are downright depressed over the idea that these competitions can ruin friendships and can ruin relationships. But that is Kumiko's challenge, to try to assuage that idea for all of these individuals and bring them together, make them a conglomerate whole. And hopefully, by doing so, re-burgeon those friendships and those talents and bring those talents together and all that hard work for an end that, even if they don't succeed in getting the gold by the end of this competition, if they've been able to reforge their friendships and their relationships, they're winners all. And so I can't wait to see if this is the turn of the tide for the series, if it plays out that way or not. And yeah, otherwise that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.